a few small boats where there were only the elite, only the rich class, they were able to go, and then we saw how there were certain worker classes that were just going to be completely whatever, and it highlighted all of that. The whole world, which we live in today, became that ship, right? So how did you feel when you were watching those people do that? What was your feelings? What were your feelings?
Well, you feel like it's an injustice, because...
what does it feel like when you say that it's an injustice?
Like you should do something about it.
No, I mean, you know, like you have to have a feeling.
Emotion.
You know, you don't go and say, right now I feel it's an injustice. You say that, but I mean, if you want to put it as an emotion, there's no emotion.
Well, I guess
there's an emotion behind that. What's that emotion? What is it? You know, we see injustices all the time, but we don't feel something. You can say, I feel this is an injustice. I'm watching TV and too bad these people are dying, but the feeling inside is switch the channel, right? The action or the feeling is, wow, the popcorn tastes really good. Who made this? That's the feeling. That's the actual feeling, right? So what did you feel when you watched that injustice in that movie? How did you feel?
I guess you could say a bit of, not necessarily pity, but like an anger and I don't know how to...
You're expressing good. Keep going. Yeah, keep it up, man. We gotta know how to express what's inside of us. That's part of reflection.
It's,
So anger, you felt, we can go with that. You felt a certain anger. That why is this happening? Why aren't you acting? Why are you doing this? This is bad. I want nothing to do with this, right? But actually we are doing this ourselves. All of us, we are doing this today, right? I'm going to tell you a little secret, you know, a little story, okay? Sama in the beginning was very political, as you might know for the older ones. It was very political. And all we did was we basically, look what's happening in this Muslim country, look how they're killing these people, and look how this is happening, and so on and so forth. And it was all about exhibits. The Palestinians would show their exhibits. Everybody was showing all the oppression that was going on during that time. And when we came to the university, we realized that, you know, this is just not working. Because people here are so irresponsive to all of that injustice that we will not be able to get anything by kind of begging the world to solve problems. And mostly it was in our world, okay? But the fact of the matter is that, and we stopped, and we said we have to focus on Islamic work. Right? We have to focus on understanding Islam. So most people in Montreal, there's certain clusters of people that are more political, and they just focus on politics, which is unbalanced. But most of the Muslims in Montreal, in fact most of the Muslims in North America and most of the Muslims in the West, most of them do not really talk about politics. They don't talk about it. And they just talk about Islam. And it's all about how you're supposed to read the Quran and you're supposed to apply the rules and it's supposed to give you a good result and the world would be a better place. But when I have time, right now we're hanging out with the brothers. Maybe later, next week. It never happens. Because we don't feel that there's a problem. The fact of the matter is that we have to understand that the world is suffering right now, and every minute, in every hour, there's thousands of people that are dying from hunger. And today, right now, there's about 70,000, if not 700,000 people that are being bought and sold into slavery. And a lot of these people are actually young girls, orphans. You know how it's important for us in Islam, the orphan? So this is an orphan, and she's a young orphan, and she's a young girl. And she's being sold doing things that you can imagine what they are. This is taking place. And we're supposed to be those people who forget Islam. Put Islam on the side for a minute. We're supposed to have some kind of human dignity, right? And we're supposed to feel that we have to do something about it. But we don't.
But
yes.
What are you supposed to do exactly?
First, let's see whether we want to do something, and we will find a spectrum of things to do. A spectrum, a full spectrum. The one who wants to, you know, there's, you know, where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a will. We know that very, very well. I mean, that doesn't, you know, most people are not even at the point of asking that question you just asked. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that there are problems happening all around the world, and guess what? We're turning into a bourgeois society, a society of like aristocrats that pretty much have a good life compared to everybody else, and we're quite okay with that. You know, like I don't know if you all the movies you could have imagined. I don't know if you watched a movie about Russia during the time of the Tsars and how they used to be, and people were dying of hunger. I don't know if you watched a movie about something that happened in the Middle Ages when you had the rich class just doing just fine and being very happy with their life, whereas everybody else was suffering. This is basically what we're becoming. And not only that, you know, when that happens, what happens to us is that it's not like, oh my God, you know, wow, okay, if you can get away with it, it's fine. Get away with it, enjoy your life, everything's good. The fact of the matter is that when we don't act and we are silent, what happens is that that's going to eat away into us. Something very, very important, a huge barrier between us and our potential starts forming. And if we don't actually act, then we are living in this dead zone, and we're rotting actually. And we notice that with a lot of our friends, with a lot of the youth around us. We realize that this whole idea, this whole perspective at religion is just not working, because most people are actually losing their way. That's why you notice, I mean, we don't have to go through it. Everybody knows what's happening with their friends and knows what's happening right now and understands the turnout and why the turnout is less. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing here? We play Nintendo, we play video games. It used to be called Nintendo's, Xbox, whatever. Okay, we just play and we're not growing. So if we're not growing, we're going backwards. If we feel that all of this is a problem, if something is moving us about all of this, right? As Muslims, the answer is the Quran, right? As Muslims, the answer is the Quran. So I would like for us to reflect about this. I think that if most of us listen to ourselves and listen around us and just listen to everything that is going on and we reflect. I'm sorry this turned out to be more of a speech. Tried to have a discussion, but people started trickling in and it was hard to build on anything. I apologize for that. But basically, if we need to listen to what is happening, right? Inside of our heart, we have to feel real. If we don't feel real inside of our heart, what does that mean, real? There has to be a certain heat that is going on inside of us, right? That heat has to happen at all times. It has to drive us at all times. A certain light, a certain driving force, something that makes us go into tears when we remember it in silence. If that's not existent, that means we're a bunch of zombies. We're dying, we're rotting, we're going down. If we constantly need a pill, you know, gotta watch a good movie, I gotta go out and have fun, I gotta this, I gotta that, or else I could become miserable, right? That's an indication that something's not driving us. Because when that thing drives us, it can put us between four walls and nobody sees us and nobody talks to us, and we're living in heaven, in a little heaven. We're just fine. You can put us in prison and we'll be just fine. There has to be that heat inside us that moves every single word that we talk about, every single thing that we say. It has to come from that heat, that harara, that nar that's inside of us. And that nar, if we don't have it, we have to pursue it and we have to ask questions. When we begin to ask questions and we begin to pursue it, we start first of all caring about ourselves and listening to our heart that's complaining to us, that's telling us, you're killing me, please stop. Listen to what you're doing to me. You're just pounding me and stabbing me and stepping on me, and I can do so much more, but you're just killing me. Start by listening to your own heart. And then when you start listening to your own heart is going to tell you, I don't like this oppression. I need to do something about this. My tax dollars are going into making that happen. Forget my tax dollars. I'm silent. What can I do to help? There's ways that I can help. It can go from setting up but it starts by being good. It starts by being good yourself. You can help the other person on the other side by doing everything you can to create a better world. That's how you can help. When all of us begin to do this, we will ultimately be able to help others. It will happen. We don't have to worry about it. Even if we have many questions and we're going to do many mistakes before we figure out what is this thing that we have to do, it's fine. At least we're moving towards it. So we have to listen to ourselves and get that heat again. Okay? We have to get that heat again that moves us.